Minecraft modding has been a core part of the game's identity since its inception. I mean, it literally goes together like bread and butter. Over the course of Minecraft's lifespan, we've seen countless massive mod projects pop up and be immortalized through mod packs, communities, and video playthroughs. Some of these mods would go on to inspire spiritual successors, features in the vanilla game, and even incredible standalone projects. Over the course of time though, some mods just kind of slip through the cracks. There's been a resurgence in digging up mods from the early 2010s. These once beloved mods have seen recognition once again through video projects and modern mod packs like the Mango Pack. However, this is merely a fraction of the massive underbelly of long-forgotten Minecraft mods. So, today I will be covering some of Minecraft's most obscure mods which, for whatever reason, have been left out of the modern zeitgeist. Before the addition of adventure mode, command blocks, and data packs, and all that fancy stuff, there weren't many options for map creators to make tailored experiences. You would just have to tell your players on a sign or what have you what they could and couldn't do, and just hope that they would respect that. That is where AdventureCraft comes in. Created by Cryect, AdventureCraft is a total conversion, starting out in Minecraft's alpha stage and continually getting updates up until beta 1.7.3, where it remains to this day. The idea behind it was to provide additional tools for map creators to make adventure maps with. I'm talking things like event triggers, camera spline editors, custom NPCs, an extensive set of building tools, and even native JavaScript support. Like, what the fuck, dude? That is not to mention the user side, which had a whole in-game map browser and downloader. Okay? There are very few mods that even come close to AdventureCraft, and that is a mod for that's a primitive version of Minecraft. The idea of letting players create tailored content for other players is something that I find really interesting. It's like a meta expansion on top of Minecraft's core sandbox philosophy. But, this is the forgotten Minecraft mod video, right? Unfortunately, Cryect would drop the development of the mod around the release of R1095. Now, given the gradual gaps of time between updates, I can kinda assume it was probably due to a loss of interest. But that is just speculation. I don't believe any official closure was ever given, and even some of the endorsed resources for the mod, such as its wiki and dev blog, don't have a proper statement either. I don't think anyone knew what was going on. Now, in a horrific twist of irony, this was also around the time Update 1.3 came out. And you want to know what that introduced? Adventure mode. Now, this official game mode didn't really offer the same kind of control to map makers as AdventureCraft did, but over the course of time, they'd keep adding in new features to supplement this new game mode, like command blocks and data packs, and we got a ton of awesome maps from that in the future. I think Cryect just kind of saw the writing on the wall and sought to move on to better projects. So, what does that really mean for AdventureCraft's future? Well, the original servers that host the player-made maps are long gone at this point, and with Cryect now out of the picture, it's looking pretty bleak. But that wouldn't stop a few brave individuals from coming forward and trying to revive the mod in one way or another. Sometime in 2013, a Minecraft forum user by the name of Longor1996 would start a short-lived successor named Tailcraft. This project aimed to port over AdventureCraft features to the then latest version of Minecraft, 1.5. Progress was smooth sailing for a few years, but like most projects in this vein, the developer would gradually lose interest. The project would then be pawned off to another developer named Tifit in 2016. And if you can believe it, their interest came crashing down even faster than Longer's. The project entered a freeze in 2018, never to receive any updates ever again. Which is a damn shame because, I was able to actually check out the latest version for 1.11, and it seems really competent. All these features are in place from the original AdventureCraft, and they all work as you'd expect. I even made this little cutscene here, and I mean, yeah, it's pretty cool. Later on, around roughly like 2019, a new effort would emerge with a different premise of providing long-term support and upgrades for the original AdventureCraft. This would lead to AdventureCraft Awakening, headed by developer Ryu. This is a reverse engineering of the original AdventureCraft, which is still actively maintained to this day, and of course, still in a very old, crusty version of Minecraft. The mod was moved over to a special fork of Fabric known as Babric, also known as Beta Fabric, and now adopts modern modding tools like mix-ins instead of directly modifying Minecraft's code, which was common practice back then. Unfortunately, I'm unable to record footage of this new mod because it just doesn't seem to work on my system. It's probably because I'm using Linux. Come on, guys, no, don't boo me! It's pretty unfortunate that this mod ended up becoming abandoned at what was essentially the peak of its popularity. A lot of people on the forums were expecting more updates or even ports to later versions as Minecraft got more and more updates. And with that abandonment, I believe that's what led to this mod becoming so niche, despite how much great content was made for it. So if you're a fan of tailored experiences like adventure maps or RPGs, maybe you got a little bit of nostalgia, I highly recommend checking out the AdventureCraft Reawakening project. It's very well made, the devs seem very passionate about the project, and I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. One does not simply walk into the mountains and mine One does not simply walk into the mountains and mine iron ore with a stone pickaxe. Have you ever felt like Minecraft was not hard enough? I certainly have, and it seems like it's a bit of a common sentiment these days with the general lack of direction and balancing in the modern versions. While updates have gotten larger in scope, they tend to fall flat when addressing Minecraft's suggested progression. This is not to say that these updates are bad. They've actually added in quite a lot of awesome content and backend upgrades that make the game more appealing as a player and developer. Mojang is just more focused on making Minecraft an appealing sandbox for all ages, and has not actually put a lot of focus on altering the flimsy progression that is present. And this makes sense, as Minecraft's strength isn't in its survival mode anymore. With this change in focus, many have come forward with their own ideas on how they could overhaul Minecraft's survival mode, but only a talented few were able to come forward and show off their idea through a Minecraft mod. I would rather ride fucking Mickey's Dick Smasher 10 times over. Dick Smasher.
Dick Smasher. Ten times over.
Minecraft is too easy, and Avernight's gonna prove it to you by making you his little bitch. His little bitch? Yes. This is Minecraft is Too Easy, created by Avernight in 2014, and it is a very nihilistic, angry mod that doesn't really like you, the player. It can be best compared to its much more popular and successful older brother, Better Than Wolves. Now, Better Than Wolves is a beast of a mod, and no, I wasn't referring to you. The experience can be best described as overcoming natural struggles presented to you through ingenuity and technical progression. The game gives back as much as you're willing to put into it, and while it can be very difficult starting out, you will slowly but surely get access to better tools, better food, and better machines. And all of those things pretty much end up making the game easier than vanilla Minecraft by the end. Minecraft is Too Easy is much more akin to Avernite spitting on you and kicking you in the balls. You start off very restricted, unable to harvest most blocks and unable to forage for anything better than raw meat from the animals you beat to death and seeds from the tall grass. You spend your nights mining gravel in hopes of getting enough flint for a hatchet or maybe even an axe. And you want to know what you do with that wood that you get with that hatchet? You make a crafting table, and then you make wooden shovels to mine more gravel. Each day you move a couple hundred blocks that way, hunt some more animals, and pray you find a good spot to hunker down for the night. And you know, this sounds fine on paper. Like, this sounds like a kind of cool, like, you know, living this nomadic type lifestyle. A much more primitive take on Minecraft's early game. But I just don't think it was executed well enough. It's way too grindy for what it's worth. And it's such a shame because what comes after is probably some of the most exciting Minecraft gameplay. But you just have this. Just sitting here, punching gravel, and you do this for hours and it's just grating. And you know what? I fucking love it, man. Despite all of the anti-player design, the timed crafting, the fucking aggressive mobs, all of the grind, there's just something about this mod that's so compelling to me. Because the thing is, there's so much great content in this mod. I mean, this mod's strengths are in its cool RPG-like mechanics and all the cool monsters and new ores and progression, but hardly anyone's ever seen it before because, you know, first impressions matter. And literally the first thing most people are exposed to when playing this mod are this mod's greatest flaws. But anyway, I'm getting a little too into the weeds here, so let's shift gears and talk a little bit about the surrounding impact of Minecraft is Too Easy. Minecraft is Too Easy, or just Might for short, would see long-term support from Avernite all the way until 2017. Avernite would go on the forums and discuss new features he was working on, but would lock them behind thresholds of success or even donations from the community. R196 would be the last released version of the mod, and Avernite would quietly leave the Minecraft forums, only to return once to update the download link for the mod back in 2022. As far as I know, he's moved on to making mods for Daggerfall, if you can believe it, and I personally think that kind of explains some of the design and dungeon crawler-esque vibes that Might gives off. Now, while this mod was pretty niche on the English Minecraft forums, it would become and remain a very popular challenge mod in the Chinese Minecraft community. Many talented programmers from this side of the community would come together to provide their own support for Might through a special mod loader called Fish Mod Loader. With it, plenty of add-ons were made, and usually they try to make the game a little more accessible. I have a lot of respect for these developers, and I even got into making some add-ons myself, which might make me the first English Might add-on developer. So that's pretty cool. To Avernite, if you are somehow watching this video, which I highly doubt, I would still like to let you know that there is a dedicated community out here who loves your work and is able to look past some of your sadistic design decisions and appreciate Might for what good it offers. You know, despite the mod's low points, it does have some amazing stretches of progression, and for that, I believe it deserves a wider recognition from the Minecraft community. If you've been around in the Minecraft modding scene for a while, you'll probably already know that magic mods are very popular and are a well-established subgenre of Minecraft mods. You probably already know some of the classics such as the Thaumcraft series, Ars Novo, Astral Sorcery, and Botania. But the whole magic mod genre wasn't really well established until after Minecraft's full release, which makes this next entry very special. What if I told you there was a comprehensive magic overhaul for Minecraft's beta? Before the bar of magic mod standards was ever really established, there was Mine and Magic by B.O. Popcorn. Now, as the name suggests, it introduced a fully fledged magic system, complete with its own progression that's tied to your gameplay. You earn combat points by fighting mobs, and you earn building points by constructing structures, and you use these points to unlock new spells. And while this magic system is pretty cool and comprehensive, there's a lot of other very odd features, such as the villages and villagers, all of which are Steves, and they make the zombie noise, which is very off-putting. These villages are noteworthy because they feature an economy system where you can buy and sell from traders. There's banks where you go and deposit or withdraw money, and if you don't put anything in this box, the game will just crash. And there are priests who, I guess, heal you or something when you're in their vicinity. The villagers really remind me of Millionaire, which was a far more popular and well-remembered mod from that era. There's also Enchanting, which is actually just a reskinned furnace, but the concept is there. There also happens to be these giant dungeons that naturally generate all across the world, and they're completely empty. Okay. Well, that was a bit of a disappointment. But hey, you know, at least we got, whatever the fuck this is. I will not be elaborating. Unfortunately, researching this mod beyond a surface level is pretty challenging. Most of the documentation was on the Minecraft forums through images, which are all gone now. There's only about like 3 videos of this mod on YouTube, and none of them were useful for research, so because of this, I ended up playing through and seeing what this mod offered, and well, as it turns out, it's very buggy. I'm talking missing textures, constant GL errors in the logs, mobs that just straight up crash your game, and very strange attribution on what the current game version is. And with all the bugs aside, you know, the mod's progression itself is just very slow. It's not very fun. I don't know why I have to build structures in order to get building points. It just kind of made trying to show off what's in this mod a bit of a slog. Most of the low tier spells are very strange and not super useful, like summon cobblestone. Like just a single block of cobblestone, like seriously, who's using this shit? But regardless of this mod's issues, I think it's just really cool. This mod makes a lot of bold changes and additions, and I can only commend it for that. I really wish there was more to discuss regarding Mine and Magic, because it's a cool mod. You'd think there'd maybe be a bit of history or some inspiration later down the line, but no. There's just nothing. No one's ever really heard of this mod. I can really appreciate what this mod was trying to go for, but at the end of the day, all that we were left with was the unfinished and forgotten work of a few young developers. And unfortunately, this is a very common occurrence in the modding scene. Not every mod gets their 15 minutes of fame, and even the ones that do compete with a vast sea of similar content and tend to lose relevancy if they can't keep up. In making this video, I wanted to share the joy that these mods have brought me. These experiences felt very unique to me, let's say. Not only were they just fun to play, but you also just don't really see many people talking about these mods anymore. It feels personal, in a way. I hope that this video encourages others to dig deep into the old Minecraft forum like I have. This video was intended to be way longer than it turned out, as I have so many more mods I would like to discuss. So, if that is something that you're interested in seeing, then please make that known. I thank you dearly for tuning in, and I hope you have a nice rest of your day.